Holy cow. Hi. Where is Chad? Day 3. I have to do... I can't read. I'm gonna read chat off of here. Hello. Luckily, he's been sleeping around the same time. So I've been able to turn on stream around the same time, but we'll see if he will sleep longer. I came a little late today. I thought I wasn't going to stream, but I ended up coming to stream. Yesterday I went to bed at 12 and then I woke up twice. That's why I'm tired. I woke up at 1 because I had to feed the baby. Because it's baby's time, he slept for 5 hours, but boss slept only for 1 hour. Yeah, let's put on my lips. I look so pale. I have to turn on Chizik too, but I have to do that separately. I officially turned off the subscription for IRL Toolkit because I don't think I'll be using that anymore. First of all, I don't go IRL, so it's too much in terms of money wise. I was so sad. I was like, oh, I don't want to leave IRL Toolkit, but I have to. Even I canceled on the Premiere Pro because I'm not using it, but I realized I have to use it again. But Adobe is so expensive. Like, I started using... good morning. Where is the sound? I
morning, boss.
Some sound here. Thank you for the sub. Oh, long time no see. But yeah, so I started using CapCut. I heard that's better, but yeah, if baby wakes up in like 15 minutes,
baby will wake up in 15
guys.
minutes, Kappa.
So hopefully he doesn't. Hopefully he'll be up and awake and gone. Sleeping for a very long time. It's nice that he was able to sleep for an hour though. I feel alive. But yeah, I had a really long conversation yesterday with a friend who is a YouTuber, and it was funny because I was like, I envy you for streaming. She's like, I envy you for, you know, having a baby. I'm like, yeah, always the grass is greener on the other side, right? Hey. So, but we'll be happy today. Taking care of baby is happy. Let's see. I was going to change the position before I do anything. A new record of baby? Okay, so currently 15 minutes today was last week. Oh, wow, I don't know what happened to that one. Thank you for the resub. Thank you, 감사합니다. You guys are so nice. I just want to change the overlay to the other side because that's bugging me. Oh, I have here. Save. Okay, that's better. Oh, there's a hype train that started. Hey! Yeah, anyone wanna support this lonely human soul of buying diaper fees? Let me know, cause I have a funny story. So in the Huggies diapers, I don't know about you guys, but they sell in like size by weight. So I was reading off of other people's reviews, and a lot of people said that they only use the Huggies undies for a week. So Jinri, who likes to be very analytical of how much, you know, weight and like how much, you know, because I don't want to waste money on buying diapers that I won't be able to use, right? So I bought 1 pack of diapers, just 1 pack, not like, but they only come in 3 packs of diapers, and 1 pack has maybe like 25 diapers. So I was talking to my mom who came, and she opened it, and I was like, Mom, why did you open it? I might have to resell this because, you know, people said they will be only using this for a week. It turns out we ended up using it for 2 months. So no, maybe not 2 months, maybe a month. And we ended up buying another pack of diaper level 1. And I didn't realize how many baby diapers you use per day. Can you guys guess? Luckily, my baby isn't that like sensitive in terms of, there's a lot of babies where if they pee, then they feel very iffy. Like even if they just pee once, they feel iffy and they wake up or they start yelling. Luckily, my baby isn't like that. So yeah, we're using 7 diapers per day. And I tell you, each pack, like 5 to 7 diapers. So because if you think about it, I have to change diaper once at midnight or like at 2-3 in the morning, which is the hardest time to do anything. Wow. And I have to change once when he wakes up, and then once maybe around 11, and then 3. So every 3-4 hours I think I change the diaper. So adding up, it's maybe like 5 to 7, especially because they just like to pee. They just pee so much. I'm like, how the hell do you pee this much? You can pee this much. And I don't know about my baby, but or no, I don't know about other babies. That's what I would say. I don't know about other babies, but my baby, if he changes diaper, then he poops on the new diaper. I don't know why. So that's 2 diapers being quote unquote wasted, right? And what's annoying is the front part gets really bulky because, you know, my baby is a boy. Boys have pee pee. So no matter where he pees, it goes only the front part. They don't go in the back part. So when I change his diapers, his front part is like super heavy and his back part's like nothing because obviously he didn't poop. So the ideal best way of using the diapers thoroughly is to wait for him to poo. But you know, I think that's too much. So I just say, oh well, whatever. But diapers are so expensive. So I can see why people go, oh, diaper fees are so expensive, blah, blah, blah. And luckily, since I'm not feeding him formula, I save money on at least the food. But I don't honestly know if it's really saving on money because I eat as much. When you open up my I got really angry at my mom the other day because right before she left, she was buying presents for family, like my brother and my sister-in-law and blah blah blah. And all of a sudden, she bought like $100 worth of snacks to bring back because, you know, my sister-in-law really likes snacks and my brother likes snacks and my mom enjoys them too. And she, you know, knowing my mom, she wanted to give other people some snacks too. So $100 worth of snacks, right? I was like, Mom, why'd you buy so much? Who's going to eat it? Oh, by the way, thank you for the choo-choo train. We got up to level 2 though. That's not bad. But I was like, who's going to eat that much? You know, like what's going to But she, you know, she was like, some of them are for you. And I was like, I'm not gonna eat any. I have to be on a strict diet. Like, don't buy me any snacks. It turns out, oh my god, I'm thanking her right now. I texted Mom, thank you for the snack. Because there are some times, oh my god, I have hearing issues. There are some times where I get so hungry, but I don't want to eat because I'm all alone. Like, I don't know about you guys, but eating alone kind of sucks. Especially if you don't have anyone to talk to. I'm talking to this baby, but you know, like, there's not that much things babies can say. So I'm just sitting here and talking to the baby. and I'm eating. It feels like, you know, I'm doing like a one-man mukbang show, right? So I sometimes skip my lunch. I try to eat breakfast a lot though. So I guess it's like, you know, like a brunch and then I eat dinner. But man, snacks in between brunch and dinner is so good. I know it's very unhealthy, but that's been a lifesaver. So diaper fees and formulas, very expensive. I try not to skip eating, but I ended up wanting to skip eating. I don't know why. I just don't feel like eating. There's like lots of food. So what I do is I cook a lot for dinner and I just use that to eat for lunch or like brunch. So yesterday I made pasta. So I'm gonna put in more pasta this morning. And then eat that for dinner or lunch, ishi brunch. I'll probably eat it after stream. Once the baby wakes up, then I usually breastfeed him. We have like a nice pattern going on, so I'm very happy. But sometimes when like relatives come, then the schedule's all messed up. You know how annoying that is? I don't know. You know, like the MBTI, I'm such a J that, oh, it's not like a bad thing. I understand that they love the babies and everything. It's just my personality. If like my schedule gets messed up, then I'm just kind of like, oh my God, it sucks. So, especially because they want to hold the baby. They don't want to put the babies down. And there are times when, you know, like they try to feed the baby, especially because if I go out, there are times I go out, surprisingly. I know. I went out this weekend to where did I go? I went out just for like a walk because Mia was like, oh my God, you look so tired. You know, this morning I'm like, you know, trying to burp my baby. I'm like, and he's like, you know. So he tries to like send me out once in a while. That's why he was like, maybe you should go back to streaming because you look so like, you look like a zombie. I act like a zombie too. I mean, I look like a zombie right now. Like, you know, do you see my hair? And like, if I like pull it out, do you see how many hair like pieces it falls? You guys don't see it, right? It's crazy. But he was like, yeah, it's like zombie plus crazy lady plus like mentally draining lady right now. But so I went out and I asked, my father-in-law visited, so I asked him to feed the baby and he's like, okay, you know. So he visits every weekend, so it's fine. But obviously he doesn't feed the baby because I keep breastfeeding, so it's like his only moment of feeding the baby and he's very excited. So I went out and I get a call from Mia and Mia's like, baby only ate 65 milliliters, and I'm like, no, he's supposed to be eating 100. I know I'm very strict on it, and some of you guys might think, Jinri, just like let the baby eat how much he wants. Well, sometimes there's a lot of false alarm. What is that in industrial engineering? I learned like false true false 뭐더라? Like false true false something where, you know, he thinks that the baby finished eating, but the baby actually is kind of exhausted right now, and I know that if he play around with the bottle, he'll eat more. False positive. Thank you. So like I told Mia, I was like, Mia, I think he can eat more. He needs to eat more, especially if it's like if it's like a, you know, like breast milk that I got like earlier, because it helps him poo. I don't know why, but it does. So I was like, can you please feed him? Please. Especially also breast milk, if it's left or if it's been fed to the baby, there's a time duration of 1 hour, and if he doesn't eat within, I think it's like 1 hour or 2 hours, then we have to throw it away. And dude, breast like pumping is painful. I don't know how people say it's not painful. It yabs the tip part of your boobas and it's like drop, and it's like, oh, it feels like I feel like a cow. And I mean, maybe that's the feeling of why I don't like breast pumping. So I don't actually breast pump. I just usually feed him unless I'm going out and I'm out for 5 hours, then I have to breast pump it. But it's just it's like I feel like a cow and I don't like that feeling. So but anyways, I asked him to feed him, but Mia was like, yeah, I'll let my dad feed while I pick me up because I went somewhere far. So I was like, okay. And it takes like back and forth is maybe like 20-30ish minutes, and I go there and the breast milk is still there. I was like, and he's like, oh, I couldn't feed him, he didn't want to eat. And I was like, okay, you know, like obviously adult. So I was like, oh, can I see him? And so I brought the baby in and I fed the baby and he eats. So I was like, okay, well, at least he eats it. But after that, his whole pattern is just so messed up, because if he doesn't eat 100 milliliters, then he loses his nap time, which means that stress comes out and he becomes cranky. It's like a natural instinct of babies, because they usually go in like you eat it and then you kind of like digest it and you sleep. That's a normal, you know, human being's pattern. Well, you don't really sleep, but babies have to sleep so that they can, you know, grow. But if he doesn't eat enough, then he doesn't feel full to sleep, which is kind of like an interesting mechanism, but it works like that for babies. That's at least how my baby works, and maybe different from other babies. So, and obviously if he doesn't eat enough, he feels cranky. So he missed his nap time of like an hour or two, which is fine. It's not like a big deal, right? But then the whole time he's just kind of like I'm like, so what happens if he misses his nap time? It becomes like an add-on of, not only is he hungry for his next meal, he's also cranky because he didn't get his nap time, right? So he's like, and oh shoot, I have to talk quietly. Oh, but anyways, which means that the next time of feeding him, he will be so angry. And that means that he will not take in bottles. Especially because I've been just giving him my breast milk, like through my boobs. He doesn't like that rubbery feeling. So you just have to really like play around with him and stick it in his mouth. But it's okay. It's okay. It's like, you know, my father-in-law or Mia hasn't had a baby, like, you know, taking care of a baby, haven't had chance to feed him a lot, so it makes sense. I'm fine with it. But the next time of eating comes, right, he gets hungry, so it's like, okay, I think it's time for him to be fed. So I had 50 milliliters left of breast milk that I also had extra just in case. And so, you know, we let the father-in-law, because, you know, it's fun. It's like, you know, it's kind of like an experience of, oh, taking care of the baby and breastfeeding, you know. And then so a lot of men, I'm not dissing all men, but a lot of men have this theory of, you know, that like ideal type of image of, you know, you hold the baby here and you stick the bottle and it's just happily ever after. They don't realize that there's always those outliers of other babies that doesn't really like to suck the thing in, right? What happened is he just puts it near his tongue, and if he's super duper hungry, of course he'll eat it. But if he's like in this awkward time of he's tired and he's like getting hungry, then it's just the most disastrous thing, because I know that he won't sleep, but he also will not eat. So either I just have to feed him real hard because he really won't sleep. So I was like, I was watching. I don't want a backseat, you know. I deal with enough backseaters, so I've dealt with enough backseaters. So I just watch him feed the baby, and you know, if this is the bottle, he just kind of puts it around the mouth, and then so the baby, who doesn't like the rubber feeling of, you know, the bottle, will go like ah. So he'll just play around with it. So if that happens, then I have to really like stick it in the mouth. But he, you know, knowing my father-in-law, he's like, oh, he doesn't want to eat it. And I was like, no, I think he'll eat it. He's like, no. And I was like, I showed him. I like held his hand. I like kind of sticked it in the mouth. And he's like, oh, how could you do that? I was like, you're supposed to be doing that, or else this baby won't eat, right? So he ended up kind of backseating me of, can't we just let the baby sleep when he wants and eat when he wants? And I was like, that's what I'm doing, but I'm also having, you know, like trying to train him to have like a nice schedule so that I can breathe. But you can't really do anything with elders who've been like trained in the old method of like doing everything for the baby. So it was just kind of like a disaster of trying to like bottle feed that baby, of like sticking it in and like playing around with it, because it doesn't look that, you know, like exciting. It looks very forceful too. I understand. So yeah, so I've also freezed my milk. Today, let's do our story. Oh, I have lots of stories. Okay, well, today's story is about breastfeeding. Today's thing about breastfeeding, now that you guys mentioned it. So yeah, I have lots of milk coming out of my boobas too. And so I've also been storing my milk. I've been freezing it too. So my freezer opens like this, you know. And so near the door side, we had to take out all the food out there because it's filled with my booba milk. So I'm very cow-like. Though I made a huge stupidest mistake when I was breastfeeding, and so I was in a lot of pain, like so much pain because of breastfeeding. Luckily, I think that pain went on for maybe two weeks, but I was at a point where I didn't want to take any meds. It's okay for you to take meds, but I thought of not taking meds. I don't know, it just feels kind of like, this is precious baby and I have to like give meds. And so instead what I did, I ended up taking Tylenol, I think, was something that I could take. So I ended up taking some meds because it was just, wow, it was not only like exhausting tired, but it was like I was freezing. I had like this cold like feeling through my body, and I had like boob milk dripping. So to be honest, for like 2 weeks I was like naked all day. That's why I didn't like having anyone over, because I had to always have my boobs open because there was milk falling off of my boobas. It was definitely not a fun experience. But now that I've like tamed my boobs to match the baby, which sounds kind of weird, but it works like that, I'm much better. But the first week, this actually relates to why I didn't go to the postpartum. But anyways, when the baby came, so a little bit of the breast milk that needs to be informed is when the baby comes out, my boobs don't make that much milk right away. And it's kind of like a hit or miss in terms of can you breastfeed or not. Apparently, some moms, it's kind of impossible for the babies to, yoink on it, latch on the boobs and suck it out. Now, so first time trying to breastfeed in the hospital, it felt so weird. Like, let me tell you the experience of someone sucking in your titties. It was just kind of like, I don't know, it feels different from like the sexual one versus the baby eating one. And no one told me that it was painful AF. You know how painful breastfeeding is? They like yum your tits, and it's like I was getting a headache from my baby trying to trying to eat from my boobs. They literally, it feels like they're biting on it, but remember, they don't have teeth, so I'm just kind of like, how do it's very painful. But apparently I have to latch it on right. Like I have to stick in my boobs. Like if this is the mouth and this is the mouth, right? And this is the top part. You have to like yoink it in. But you know, first time mom, I feel bad to like shove my boobs. And like my baby came out as 2.9 kilograms. It's like this small and so skinny, and like the face is so skinny, right? So like first time when I tried it, my boobs covered his face. I really wanted to take a picture because it was hilarious. But when when he's sucking on it, I thought he would suffocate because my boobs was also pressing on the nose part. That the whole time, if this was my boob, I had to push around the nose part just in case he would actually suffocate. But like this is the face and my boobs were humongous, so it was like rack. I know it was a weird flex, but imagine my boobs get to like 2 size up from breastfeeding, so I was enjoying it. Especially if it starts like getting filled and the baby isn't eating as much, that it gets super big. So anyways, I got home from my postpartum. I left early, that's another story, but I got home and my mom was going to just feed him formula because like I said, there wasn't enough booby milk coming out, which was also like a false thing. But so we got formula, and that night Mia was like, Jinri, I thought we were going to breastfeed the baby, but I don't understand why you're giving him formula. And that like pissed me off. I don't know why. Now that I think about it, he was just being honest with me, right? We promised to breastfeed, but if we're not breastfeeding, he has the right to ask that question, right? But at that moment, he asked me that question. I was like, this Beep, who didn't do anything during birth, remember he slept, right? Is now telling me to breastfeed this baby? Well, I look like, I'm looking better right now, surprisingly. But before, I was like, you want me to breastfeed this baby? Right? So, I was like, okay, fine. That's what I said. And that night was the start of war. We had civil war. It was a war between baby and me. The baby was not satisfied with my booba milk, but I didn't want to feed him formula, so I kind of forced him to suck on my boobies a lot, which was the worst mistake that a human could ever make. But I spent the whole night when he was crying for food. I just stuck my boob in. He would be sucking on it, and poor baby, because there's nothing coming out. There isn't that enough, like not enough coming out. So he'd be sucking on it for like hours. I think the maximum he sucked on for was like an hour. Wow, poor baby. Now that I think about it, but it really helps. It really helps speed up faster if we get the hang of it early on. Because compared to other people, it got much more flexible with the baby. Well, it's really hard for me to say how long I was breastfeeding, because here's the thing. I feed him for an hour. He's okay for maybe 20 minutes. And then he starts crying. So I have to feed him again. So how do we count how long I was feeding him? I'm not sure. So that was kind of the issue going on. So that whole night, I went to bed at 4 or 5 in the morning, because the whole night, well, first of all, my boobs were starting to be in pain because I tried the what is that, the sucking thingamabobby, the breast pump, and it was pumping out like very little, so it was working, but like the baby wasn't having enough of it. So I was like, fine. But But I told my mom, let's not give him formula because first of all, my boobs were in pain. Second of all, in our house, we didn't have the breast pump, so I want to feed him right away. So I just sat there because like, I can't really show it to you guys right now, but my one size is bigger than the other size. That's what happened. So I was like, okay, I have to feed the baby. You know, I searched online and they said, if you're in pain, just keep feeding the baby. I was like, okay, fine. I spent the whole night. If he cries, okay, stick it on the one boob. Oh, he's crying again. The other boob. The other boob. Other boob. And this just went on for like hours. So in the end, luckily, oh really? For me right now, my right one is bigger than the left one. But luckily, he latched on and we were happily ever after, right? That's what you think. You think, oh, now that he's latching on, you'll be imagining that like joyful moment of, oh, it's such a beautiful moment. No. Remember, I've been breastfeeding him, my boobies, for like hours. That caused a false alarm in my boobs, telling my brain, or yeah, telling my whole body saying, oh, this baby eats a lot. So you know what happened? If I drink this side, then the other side starts having like, it starts drooling. Or not drooling, it starts, what is it, like leaking. Thank you, that's what I was thinking of. It starts leaking, not just little bits and pieces. It's like raw. So my clothes, always one side of it is wet. The whole side. Well, at the time, it was the weekend, and I didn't have a breast pump at the time, and Jinri was stupid enough. Jinri was stupid to think about putting a cup below my boobs to save that precious milk. And patches didn't even work. So every time I had to change clothes, because this side would be, it was like, you see those like memes out there where he see like a patch of circle. That actually happened to me, and it wasn't like later on, it wasn't just a circle, it was just like this whole side was wet. I thought I was wearing like two different color clothes, right? So that happened, right? And I told Mia, you know what, I can't wait for the government to give me breast pump. I think we should just buy a breast pump. So I just ended up buying a breast pump, which was also mistake number 2. I should have gotten a portable breast pump, not a one you have to stick it in breast pump, because I can't carry it out, which kind of sucks, because if I want to see my friends, but the breast pump we have right now is obviously like expensive, so I can't buy another breast pump. Anyways, that's the problem number 2. Buy a portable one. But Jinri didn't know, Mia didn't know. How would Mia know? He's a guy, he doesn't have milk to pump out, and I'm a first-time mom. You just order the one they have at the hospital, right? So we just got a breast pump. That's what I thought too, and it's not. Oh, really? And you don't want to buy me a portable breast pump? So now, oh, that's another story about someone who doesn't have a someone who doesn't have a portable breast pump. Guess what happens if I go out? That's a different story. I didn't know. In Korea, they usually use the non-portable one. You just stick a cord in, and then it just drop, 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 and you hear zop, drop, drop of all my boobs. So, anyways, let's talk about portable and anything. Well, I'll talk about that one later, but now that this is dropping, I ordered the non-portable one. It came the next day because we went through using coupon, and I was excited to breast pump. You know, I've been seeing like the Instagram of like, I'm breast pumping, so I breast pump and I breast pump. Now, here is Jinri's number 3 stupidest mistake of breast pumping. When the baby finishes his food and I still have pain, you would think, oh, then I should empty out that boob so that it makes a new milk, fresh and yummy milk for the baby. Wrong. That was the biggest, stupidest mistake that boss has ever made. When the baby finishes eating, you don't breast pump it because it also causes another false alarm to my brain, to my boob part, like cells in here that makes the milk, saying, oh, it's not that much amount. This baby needs more amount. So if I breastfeed the baby and pump it out, this boob will never be satisfied with just how much the baby ate. So you know what happened? Now I have fridge full of breast milk that I can't do anything about because now I'm, giving it directly. But because of that methodology of breast pumping after the baby ate, it got harder. Whoa, hard as in rock, like rock hard. And you know what that means? It means that this boob is so heavy and it's like, painful. There's inflammation happening here. And the worst, it can get as worse as having like a red spot, like a huge red spot, because it's saying, this thing is full, you need to pump it out. But, so stupid Jinri keeps pumping. And I tell my mom, does this ever stop? Which means now at nighttime, every 2 hours, I wake up to give baby food at that time because, it's filled with milk. So that was the number 3 stupidest, the number 3, but the most biggest mistake. So that meant that if my boobs don't feel satisfied of giving up breast milk, then I am having an inflammation happening. And I looked up, so I searched online, there was actually a word, it was like ovulation, this ovulation. There is actually there's a scientific word that means if you overly pump, that's what'll happen to your boobs. So yeah, I had to take meds for maybe 2-3 times because my whole body gets this chill and I cannot do anything. I have a really bad headache and I was literally dead. So if your waifu or anyone wants to ever breast milk, don't let them pump stupidly like me, and always research beforehand. Hyperlactation. Thank you. Yeah. So what you're supposed to do is just wait and maybe pump out the other side. Also, what's bad about pumping is that the baby woke up. Let's just wait for him for a bit to see if he will sleep again. But you know what sucks about breast pumping is they also develop a sachu. I don't know what that is in English. Oh, ejaculation? Like boob ejaculation, which sounds kind of weird, but usually during a boob breast pumping, now here's the boob, right? When the baby sucks on it, that's when the milk comes out, right? But apparently breast pump makes this boob say, hey, if there's any force happening to the boob, is there a different word? Oh, okay, sorry. Yeah, maybe there is. I think there might be a better word, but it does kind of look like that though. This milk just, I don't know what the word is, but the milk just spits out on its own without even pumping. So there's just, it does look like pee. So what sucks about that is, but the baby can choke on it. So when the baby, is it leaking? but it's not like when I think of leak, it's more, yeah, it's shooting. It's literally shooting. And it looks so sad to the baby because my baby is, you know, like eating the milk, right? And then all of a sudden there's a shooting of breast milk going on. He goes because it's all over his face, and I'm like, oh my god, I'm so sorry. Oh, and they say it's caused because of breast pumping. I'm not sure if it's like really, and there's like a scientific background of that, but it's not. I don't think it's, yeah, I don't. It's not just leaking. It's literally shooting in the face, and that's why I think maybe they use the word ejaculation, because it does kind of look like that. Yeah. So ejection. Maybe. Whatever the word is, that's what happens to the baby. Or that's what happens to my boobas. So on days when I go out and I come home to breastfeed, that usually happens because this boob is telling me, I need milk out. I'm producing way more milk than... It's time for me. It's time to say goodbye. Thank you, Fufi. Not even an hour because I came like 5 minutes late. Yeah, okay, baby's annoyed. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.